That sounded like the divine feminine energy. I got a big square. It says this meeting is being recorded. So I just say continue, right? Yeah, all right. A little bit more masculine feminine voice though, I think. I don't know. So in beginning this week, you might feel a throng of us around you as they are here in this house and present through the energetic connection that Tomei has right now. They're also available to you where you're at, always. So we're around all the time. All you must do is ask and open yourself up. You've done this before, so our first channeling not too long ago was based on remembrance. Remembering where you came from and who you are. That these things that you hear, you've heard before. The messages that we are able to share with you, you have heard before. This isn't anything new to you. Yet to bring it into your heart, it must be felt. As you feel the energy of the words that are being spoken, the vibration that they hold, they touch your heart in such a way to help you remember the truth of who you are. You are not your lower self, of course. You are your higher self in many other aspects of who you are. You are in many dimensions, many frequencies, many vibrations. You are part of the whole, which means you're also in different universes. You've been a part of us always. You are an Arcturian. You are a Palladian. You're even a Zeta. You are divine feminine, divine masculine. You are all of it. You're part of Source in every way. And we reach out to you today to help you remember this. But what we wish for you to remember today is the softness, is the gratitude, is the compassion. To remember where you came from, where all of this exists. You might say the darkness exists and the light exists, but they are one. They are together. They form a wholeness to them that brings about whatever is needed, you might say, in the moment to assist you, to help assist us, to assist you, to help you assist us as we try and find our way through the journeys, the multiple journeys that you decide to take, the many choices that you make that are different from day to day, hour to hour, minute to minute. There is no time here, so we don't have to worry about time at all. We are truly present, being, isness, in every single moment of your thoughts, actions, words, deeds, all of who you are. We are there in that instant, spontaneously being with you in whatever way you wish us to be. So as you make that choice, as you change us in how we work with you, when you feed a feeling to us from your heart, we then know how to be with you. We know what it is that you wish to manifest, which you wish to create. To be able to do this through your heart allows you to pull together a manifestation that is truly for the best of all. If for a moment you go into your mind, then that ends. Now, we're not suggesting going into your higher mind doing that. We're suggesting as soon as you go into your lower mind, then there must be duality. There must be either or. There's usually a barrier of some kind, an outcome that must take place, instead of a feeling of the manifestation and what it might look like, you might say, not in your mind, not even in a visualization, but a feeling of it first. That comes from your remembrance. And what we suggest here is the remembrance is that comes from when you first came into existence. For in that moment, you felt a manifestation. For out of the womb of everything came this manifestation. When your soul, your diamond core essence, was created and manifested through the divine feminine, there was a softness that came with that. There was a feeling of wholeness. There was an understanding, you might even say, that overcame you in the vibration that you were holding in that moment of how everything works, of how true manifestation takes place, how the Divine Father and the Divine Mother came together to form the Divine Son. That all came together in a spontaneous moment. And in that moment, the Divine Feminine held you in her arms. She embraced you. She cuddled you. She surrounded you in your love. There was a wholeness, a connection. You might say of the two of you, even though you were one, there was no separation in that moment, but just a divine experience of love and compassion and softness. Surely you can remember this as you go into your heart. This is true manifestation. You can sink deep into your heart space, into that diamond core essence, and begin to feel and sense each one of your cells in your physical body, because the remembrance is there as well. We find it interesting in some ways that this is how you heal yourself, and yet very few of you have taken upon yourself to actually share with Tomei in his physical form here, questioning how that is done. For isn't it relevant to think to yourself that if you have a job where you're going to make $100,000, let's say, a year, or the opportunity to be able to heal yourself in a moment's notice, which one would you choose? Yet very few of you are choosing the healing. For in those moments, pure abundance will come to you in all its forms. Whether it be money to help you walk your walk in this world, whether it be a physical healing, abundance will show up through this opportunity to manifest through every one of your physical cells and energetic core essences that you carry in the many layers of your energetic body. Remembrance. This is where you came from. And sure, it's been billions of years in your development, just as your own soul, your own energetic body that you encompass right now on this world, has come through billions of years of work, of understandings, experiences on many planets and many universes to now show up here to start it all over again from a lower density, not a higher density. As Madame Blavatsky has told you in the books that she had written so long ago, there has been a turning point. You might say, as on a scale basis, you started at the highest of the high. You were embraced by the divine feminine. She held you in her arms. Each one of you, separately, you might say, each one of you felt the divine feminine's essence. She placed it inside your heart space as the divine diamond core essence. She placed it there as your soul came down. It carried with it that diamond core essence. And a piece of that diamond core essence is the divine feminine. She allowed you to feel her essence. Not to be used, but to be felt. For as you feel it truly in your heart space, it projects out. It's a normal reaction, you might say, of projection that takes place when you are one with this space. It is not to be held onto. It is not to be controlled or manipulated. It is free. It is independent. It is open. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to understand an equation. There isn't a process to it. It is simply being present with the feeling, the sensation of that diamond core essence, which holds not only, of course, the divine feminine, but holds the divine masculine as well. But at this point, for today, we wish to single out the divine feminine. For your world is in catastrophe. It is in chaos. Now, it might seem overbearing, that there is no solutions, that the only outcome will be disaster. We are here to tell you that we have already arrived. There is a certain part of us that has come to the planet. Those of you who have raised your consciousness, your vibration, your feeling of your diamond core essence to a certain level will begin to feel us. Some will actually even see us. For you're seeing with your third eye, as you know, not the two eyes. Even though you'll be using those two eyes to register what's in front of you, the feeling will be stronger first, which will then allow your higher mind to come in to help you visualize what it is that you're looking at. Tomei has shared with just a couple of you that as he sat in his beautiful hot tub that he uses for his legs, of course, at 10:30 at night, he specifically went out, was drawn out by us to go out in the hot tub as tired as he was. He went out anyway, and as he sat there and looked out over the horizon, he saw some of them arrive. He had a feeling of it instantly. He couldn't believe in some ways what he was seeing because he was definitely dealing from his third dimensional self in that moment as far as his sight. But as he saw it, he felt it immediately and knew what was happening. There will be other occasions for others as yourselves to be able to feel that we have arrived. We are here to assist you to continue to open yourselves up. You have already invited us by opening yourselves up to a certain place. All you're doing is remembering our connections. We've already had them. When you get to a certain place of vibration, these opportunities automatically present themselves. Now, they're going to present themselves differently to each soul because each soul is unique. Each soul has done specific work, you might say, in allowing their door to open to their hearts, to their feelings, to their words, to their higher mind, to their manifestations, to their beingness, their energetic bodies. It's all different. It's unique to each individual, you might say. Each energetic soul has done specific work and had specific experiences that are different, which means they might see us or others in a little bit different way. All in a calming, beautiful, welcoming, embracing way for that particular soul. There is an excitement within you because the remembrance is starting to open. There is no fear. It's almost as if finally you're saying to yourself, finally I can remember the truth. The only way that happens is to open the heart space, the diamond core essence, to such a degree that you can feel the energetic beings around you, the vibrations that are coming at you. You know you've been practicing this for a long time. And when we say a long time, we're not talking about this lifetime, although some of it's been going on. It started billions of years ago as your soul began its journey downward. And then the turn was made. You got to the lowest of the low vibrations to feel and to experience. And you slowly began to work your way back, welcoming in new vibrations as you went, recognizing the difference of the vibrations. There was no battle. There wasn't any vibration that was worse than another one. There is no judgment in the vibrations. They were simply there for you to experience so you can discern for yourself the differences, which means then your heart can feel what those differences are so you can meld the energies together. As the lower frequency becomes available to the higher frequency and the higher frequency becomes available to the lower frequency, you know in your own science that the one melds into the other. It's a simple, you might say, exercise of love. No judgment. There is only judgment in one place in this entire universe, and it is here, in this third dimensional reality. Animals have no judgment. Stones have no judgment. Plants have no judgment. They just are. The only place judgment is available is in a third dimensional density. Thus requiring a lot of discernment on your part to recognize whether it's judgment or whether it's discernment. And it took many millions of years to walk through that opportunity. For you came down here as star seeds. You came down here with a very, very high frequency and then let that go so that you could go downward. as you know, forgetting all that you knew before, so you could continue to go downward to feel all the energies that are available to you and bring them back up with you in your journey by melding them into you, so you knew what you were letting go of and you kept rising, you might say. This isn't a hierarchy or an arrogance of better than. Is simply a movement of beingness wrapped up in the love energy, the diamond core essence of perfect balance, you might say, allowing this to take place. We will say to you once again that the chaos that reigns your planet right now has always been here. It is not anything new. The chaos is presented to you as a challenge. The challenge is, can you stand in the chaos, feel it fully without judgment? Can you be in the chaos with heartfelt discernment? Feeling for what it has to present to you. And once again, each unique soul, you might say, sees or feels it differently, which means the discernment will be different. The understanding will be different. How you meld it will be different. And that's the beauty of all this. For when you get together as a group, then it provides an overall feeling of melding from the different parts, feeding into the whole, bringing a different kind of strength, a heartfelt strength, not a mind-gathering strength, not an opinionated strength, but a felt strength. The time has come upon many old souls, which all of you are, to rise up and remember your truth and to begin to work with it, to manifest with it. Yes, the purpose of all of this in the beginning as you came down was to find yourself first. What does that mean? Well, of course it means to find your own diamond core essence first. To be able to work from that place provides the gifts and direct connection for manifestation through your unique heart space, providing you understandings of how you will begin to project that out. But first you must project it inward. You must heal yourselves, and that doesn't mean just physically. There is many opportunities to heal many parts of your bodies. Yes, first, as Blavatsky had spoken of, that the master, Yeshua, spoke of to his disciples who had no clue what he was talking about. The women did. For it is more divine feminine energy. That's where it comes from. Even back then, the masculine was overpowering. Many, many judgments placed upon the women of the Essene groups. Yet there's where the answers lie. To understand how to bring this together for yourself and to walk the paths of the low personality, that's how it's been presented to you in today's world, In Yeshua's time, they were called aggregates, mental, physical, and emotional aggregates that caused you to look at yourselves from truly a dualistic, egotistical strategy way. You know of strategies now as well. That lower personality must be worked with first. So it must be projected in first. You must become identified, you might say, with it so you can know what the identity is. Therefore, you know the frequency of the identity. You know the frequency of the lower personality, of the aggregate that you have to work with so that you can rise above it, which doesn't mean you're better than, it just means it's a lower frequency. You must be able to become a spiritual alchemist to change the energetic field of who you are to what you remember of who you are. And that is only done through the diamond core essence. The divine feminine at this point is beginning to wrap its arms around you. There is more emotion that you are all walking through than ever before, is there not? This last lunar eclipse that you went through, did it not provide you the tears of letting go? You are wrapping yourself in the divine feminine, in the emotional aspects of who you are, and the divine feminine is answering your call. It is time to welcome her with intent. She cannot be with you and force you to do it. This is your choice. It's your choice to learn the healing aspects of yourself in every cell of your physical and every energetic part of your energetic body. The prana energy that unfolds around you in crystalline form is ready to act. But you must feel it. You must feel what Archangel Michael has shared with you with the adamantine particles. They are the same thing. They are little crystals of prana energy that assist you to heal. But you must ask them to come in. You must have intent. You must sit down with yourself, not for hours at a time, but the intent must be there that you will walk in this all day. Once you get it in motion, it will automatically go in motion. It must, you might say, obey. There's no control here, but it must obey the reality of your divine diamond core essence. Whatever the feeling and intent is behind that, the adamantine particles, the prana energy, the golden crystals must obey. It is a divine universal trait. This is the power you have within your own heart space. Yeshua, while he was here, proved that. And he proved that in many ways, not just in physical healings as he walked his walk, but in so-called miracles that he only did was to manifest the energy in a different form, which allowed others to see it in the physical form. He ended up, of course, doing it in his own ascension, which you are right at the cusp of, if you allow yourself to truly journey into your heart space, to become the masters you always were. Remember, You have been masters many, many times. This isn't your first time around. Trust. In today's world, it is a very, very difficult virtue to carry in your heart because of what's going on outside of you. But isn't it true? Not that you look into the future, but as you look back into the past, truly recognizing the moments, the crossroads that each one has faced. In that crossroad lied the challenge. And there were multiple choices you had. But as you look at that now, wouldn't you say that the choice you ended up with worked out perfectly, even though it didn't seem so much in the moment? It brought you to where you are today. You didn't know that then. And you might have faltered quite a few times along the way, but you kept going. What kept you going? What pushed you ahead? What maybe gave you just a little bit of a feeling like there's more to this than this? And in today's journey, it's stronger than it's ever been. That there's more to experience. There's something else. Because you're coming closer and closer to your mastership. Now, of course, that's not for everyone, as you know. Your planet is loaded with young souls, souls that really do have a strong understanding that this is the only world that they're going to be in. They've lost contact with their hearts. They have a long way to go yet. There's many more experiences for some. There is going to be a separation of sorts. It is not based upon judgment, actually based upon love, because those that are not ready to incorporate, you might say, the new energetic feelings that are coming, the new wave of downloads that many of you have felt, most bodies, and that includes the energetic body of these individuals, is not prepared to receive that kind of high frequency energy. It will destroy them. So out of love, there must be a longer period of time for them to acquaint themselves to the journey that they're on, even though they don't know they're on a journey. It would be harmful to them. That doesn't mean that you don't continue to work with them, that you don't hold space. We have shared with you that every day on Tomei's run, he sends out a wave of energy, first to everybody that he's touched in his life, and then beyond that, for those people that they touch. It's done strictly as an intention from the heart, manifesting through the heart space, through the diamond core essence, allowing yourself to become a conduit for the pink ray energy of the heart that touches everything. Now understand, just because he might do that, or you might do that, there is no outcome to it. It is simply an understanding, a feeling, a sensation of serving from the heart. To allow yourself to let your diamond core essence work in a projection, full capacity openness to touch all things that are on this planet, no matter what they are, who they are, where they came from. It includes many of the extraterrestrials that are here that have been trying to change this world to control even them who has no souls. They are just beings physically. They haven't raised their consciousness up yet to a level to welcome in a soul just yet. They are strictly here as an energetic control. And that's what they're teaching, is how to control. Even sending that ray to them. No expectation of how it will look. For nobody has the right to change another being in any way. You can serve them, you can assist them, you can surround them with a beauty of all kinds of different colored rays and so on, but it's up to them to take them into themselves, to let that energetic feeling and frequency begin to work with, let's say, their cellular structure, their energetic structure, to help them feel something different. What this does also for you is it helps you to understand from a feeling sensation specific to judgment. It takes you away from the judgment. It helps you see that everything is perfect just the way it is. And whatever you can do to serve by allowing yourself to be open and project out is actually your purpose for being here in this moment. The mother is waiting. She has waited billions of years for you to reconnect in the way you did when she first held you billions of years ago. She wishes you to come back to that place, only to celebrate with you. They say an authentic hug here goes a long way. A hug of caring and compassion, understanding, without judgment, without wanting anything back. The hug that you received from her in the beginning when she let you go was 1,000,000,000 times greater than that. This is what is awaiting you in your remembrance of your mastership. Can you feel it now? Can you allow yourself to drop who you are in this world and open up your heart and just feel it now? Take one breath, just one breath. Feel the inhale. Feel it touch all your cells. Feel it go beyond you. Feel it touch other things. Welcoming what's ever out there. Coming home to the mother's essence. This is why we have come back. This is why we so love to serve you. We will project a new meditation through Tomei, but before we do, are there any questions, comments, feelings you wish to share?
I have a question about orbs. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, I've been taking a lot of pictures outside and at sunset in nature, and every once in a while I'm seeing different round colored circles in the photos. And I was wondering, how can I tell if they're really orbs or just a reflection of the lens, and what they mean? And if you could talk about orbs a little.
The orbs that any one of you are going to begin to see, which we will suggest will be many. It's just the beginning stages of finally connecting with your diamond core essence within yourself. And it will be done through feelings. So yes, there are times in photography that there's a reflection in the lens, and it does seem to cause a circle of some kind or a reflection of some kind that seems most natural for what's going on, especially as you were to take photographs into the sun. This happens quite a bit. But even at night, if you were learning to take photographs at nighttime, you will see many more orbs at nighttime than you would necessarily during the day, because there isn't a distraction of that kind of radiance that's coming from the sun that can cause kind of an illusionary way of looking at an orb. But that doesn't mean that the orbs aren't necessarily there either. The way to tell, of course, is in your heart, to see truly through your heart, to feel and sense whether they are an orb or not. It cannot be wishful thinking. It cannot be a judgment. It must be truly just a momentary feeling and intuition that tells you that that is an orb. It's not necessarily important, and we would suggest getting away from the meaning of them, that these orbs are only there to provide safety, feeling of love, compassion for the area, or possibly for yourself to recognize for you. And that's all. It's that simple. Always things you might say in nature and in what you would call spirituality is very simplistic. It doesn't have a lot of thought behind it. Too many words do not provide a feeling. They end up being in your mind. So the simplest way is just to feel them, to notice them in your heart. And even if, let's just say, it's not an orb, but it's a reflection in the lens, but you do feel something, didn't it actually do what it was supposed to do, let's say? Provide you to go to your heart. And that's the end all of it all anyway, is to allow you to feel within yourself, which then provides a projection automatically that's going to come out from you that is a high frequency to be able to be used as you walk, not necessarily used against other people or anything like that, but just to be used in a way that you're planting seeds wherever you go. But we would suggest that there's a better chance for you to see them, if that's what you're looking for, at nighttime. As you take pictures at nighttime, don't be surprised that you see many, many light orbs, even around people, around, especially in nature, that sort of thing. It's more in the darkness with a light all of a sudden being flashed on them that you're able to see them a little bit clearer.
Thank you.
Hi, Tomei. This is Sophia. I have a question. Some psychics are predicting a food shortage in the near future. Do you feel that coming, or can you speak of that in any way? And if so, what should we be doing to prepare?
Especially for old souls. And there's a reason, let's say, for that. Behind it is that you will need less and less food. You're going to be feeding off the prana energy, the animating particles. You're not going to be using third dimensional vibrations to sustain yourself. You'll be using the higher energies to sustain yourself. Everything at a higher frequency, even going from fourth into the fifth. The fourth is still going to have a density of third dimensional realities to it. So it's kind of like a springboard, a mediation place to prepare the bodies to finally move into an energetic realm that is not dense, but much lighter. Well, in that realm, you don't need, let's say, the denseness of the food that you carry now. In fact, as you know, many corporations that are on the planet in chaos right now are trying to hold you back and cause you to eat foods that really aren't sustaining even your physical bodies anymore, causing sickness and so on. And so that's going to be over very quickly for the old souls, because they will be feeding off more of the energetic values of the energies that are around them and are going to need less and less food. So I'm not sure which psychics you're listening to, but maybe they will address that differently eventually. It is not, if you're listening to a psychic that's trying to project fear into the situation by saying, oh, you better be careful, you better make stockpiles, we would say from our vantage point that that, of course, is just bringing you deeper into the fear aspects of the third dimensional density, which then is not going to allow your heart to be open. It's not going to allow you to feel fully what's going on around you, and it's going to capture you once again. So from a different perspective is, yes, you're going to be being much freer in what you're eating, because you will be feeding off the energetic particles as opposed to the food supply that is being provided for you here. And yes, that food supply is starting to dwindle. And what's dwindling is the, let's say, organic ability to grow. There's many corporations that are against, of course, the vibration of the high vibrations of the plants, to truly feed off the higher vibrations of the plants by using chemicals and toxicity and so on, and then causing you to eat the foods that they are creating in the labs, as opposed to the foods that are natural and that are out there. And this is happening at a greater frequency at this point, to the point where they might be able to buy out a lot of the natural food stores that are still here, which means they will close them. They will not allow them to be here, which then forces you to start eating their foods. But of course, that is providing somewhat of a fear sensation right now, and we want to stay away from that. That's just a natural process for the shift to take place. You might say it's going to cause others to start looking at other opportunities for food, which then they'll realize by looking at you and how you walk around and you eat very little is how are you sustaining your physical and energetic bodies to such a degree that you're doing things that don't seem available to them, which then opens the door to allow them to start experiencing some of the things that you have learned, and you can share that with them in a non-harmful way, which will help then the shift further as it goes. And not everybody's going to shift. So it will be those that come to you that see what you're doing and how you have mastered yourself into a place where you're feeding off of the energies that are around you. You have heard about breatharians, of course, and breatharians basically are just feeding off the prana energy. They're using it in their bodies and have used it over a period of time. Some people have tried to force that upon themselves and have actually died. So some bodies are ready for it and some aren't. Those that are ready for it, in most cases, have opened up their hearts first, then have opened up the other vortexes in their bodies to be able to receive more and more of the prana energy, which allows them to raise their consciousness and their energetic body to become more whole with the physical body, and the physical body is less of the driving factor. And that, of course, is how you ascend. You come to an energetic place where your body might still be seen, as Yeshua was seen as he walked around, but basically it becomes more of an energetic body, even though the physical characteristics might remain in some regards. But the energetic body is actually now the driver and is feeding the body to continue to sustain itself in the higher dimensions, and even somewhat in the third dimension if there is a period of time that you will stay here to assist others as well.
Sophia got kicked off. She's on the phone with me. She says thank you.
Peace.
Hey, Tomei, I feel like I've been given guidance to pay attention to cryptocurrency. I was wondering if there's anything to be said about that today.
It's just another abundance that they've created for attachment. The abundance that is available to anyone on the planet, obviously, once again, is through the heart. It will come in various stages for that individual through the trust they have. It can come in currency. It can come through abundance of money or cryptocurrency that's being used out there. But in the end, it is a abundance of energy that you hold within yourself. As you hold the abundance of energy within yourself, you naturally attract more abundance to help serve outside of yourself. Or if you're at a certain place, the abundance that has been coming in has served you to a point that you really don't need anymore. And so you come to that place of balance because the trust is so strong that you know at a moment's notice you can manifest whatever it is that you wish. So anything that's outside of you, that's third dimensional, will start fading away. It's not of a necessity at all. Yet in some cases, we still live in our realm, which we have no currency. We are in a different place, and it's all done through energetics. We can manifest instantaneously, but in your realm, what happens is that you still have a third dimensional density. So You still have bills to pay yet, and you have to eat certain foods yet. There's a ways to go yet with all this. But when a trust from the heart comes in, you'll start recognizing that you'll need less and less. And as you need less and less, you need less and less more, let's say, abundance or currency, as opposed to just beginning to manifest for yourself what it is that is needed for that particular moment. There still is a practicality that you must live through that's still here. And so we wouldn't say that it's time for you to just sit and meditate and don't worry about anything anymore. No, it's time to act. It's time to move on from just holding space for everything. It's time to act and bring apart a true creative manifestation of the new earth that you are going to begin to create. What is that going to feel like? And once you feel it, then you'll start visualizing it. Once you visualize it, then you can go to your creative center and start using the manifestation of energy as you go forward. And it will be done a little bit at a time. Obviously, some have already created for themselves that manifestation in many ways, and you've actually seen it in front of you. But for each one of the people that are here, the old souls that are here, there is a certain time period of learning, you might say, a certain time period of feeling and experiencing to help them build their own trust within their heart that how this all works for them. As we see that for each individual, then we can come and serve in a way that isn't controlling, that isn't telling you, let's say, what to do, but to assist to further the feeling of how that comes about. And that's where the embracement that we've talked about today on the divine feminine and the mother energy will start coming in, because that is the true manifestation creative energy that is available to everyone as they open up their hearts more and more. It's not to say to stay away from any kind of currency, you might say, but it will kind of start fading away as time goes on for a particular old soul. There is also an attraction to new currency, which then can be an attachment. So one must be careful as they're walking their walk to not get attached to things, that everything is not owned. There is nothing that you have here that is actually owned. It is just borrowed. Tomei has shared that many times in many workshops with you to help you to understand that everything here is just borrowed. Therefore, it is not, say, his. It is here to share with whoever might require it, need it, however you want to look at it. And it's the same for each one of you, is that you don't own anything. And you know this for sure. You know you can't bring it with you when you pass on and cross over. You didn't come in with it. So it just stays here. It doesn't go anywhere. Therefore, the sooner that those on the planet here, especially old souls, can learn that it's just here to share, then the attachment to it begins to fade away.
Thank you.
May, it's Linda.
Linda?
Mm-hmm. Is it possible for your guardian angel to be a legendary creature, like a unicorn or a dragon, or?
How beautiful is that? The guardian angel, if we get away from labeling the beingness of who we are and into the feeling of who we are, that lends itself for you to manifest whichever way you want us to show up. Whatever you're comfortable with, whichever doesn't feel harmful, which doesn't shock you, but just feels right to you. You might feel a gorilla is much more prevalent for you than a beautiful angel with wings, for we don't really look anything like those things. But yet in your heart, as it manifests what it is you wish to have a connection with, and your higher mind begins to visualize it and you manifest it, this is how we will show up for you. Because it brings you comfort, it brings you safety, it might bring a smile to your face. As soon as you said unicorn, it brought a smile to all of us. For we do show up like that in for many people. There seems to be a softness, yet a grandness to a unicorn, a strength, an inner strength. In many of the movies that the world has created for you and showing you many different mystical creatures, there might be identification for you in those movies that gives you a sense of warmth. It touches you with a sense of strength. So when you wish to feel strong, you can envision us as one of those beings, you might say, as a horse or even a cow or an owl, a hawk. Many of the indigenous cultures look at some of these animals, of course, and various other creatures and beings, and they label them with specific characteristics. And that's how they were taught to the people. But where did they come from? They came from visualizations and manifestations and heartfelt feelings of elders who had realizations through sometimes other medicinal means, but all the same, they were still touching their hearts. And these creatures or visions would come forward and they would feel so safe and comforted, or have the knowledge and wisdom that came with it. They would form pictures of these creatures and then teach them to others who didn't have the ability to necessarily envision and create and manifest these things for themselves. Sometimes it did lead to control, but in most cases it led to an understanding for those individuals to feel safe and to feel comforted. And so to manifest for yourself whatever is going to appear for you in whatever way you wish it, then yes, we can show up in whatever way you wish and comfort you or bring you whatever it is you're looking for in a way that you will understand it within your own heart.
Thank you.
So today we are going to stay in the channel with Tomei, and we will provide a meditation directly from us. He has done this before many times and hasn't done it for quite a while. And he is jumping inside because he's very excited to be able to do this once again. For it provides him such a strong feeling of our energies as they come through. So we ask you all to just get comfortable. if one of the people that are here could bring Tomei his drink. We might suggest also that you might want to have some Kleenex nearby. So we'll begin just with some nice short breaths. Allow yourself to just begin with simple inhales. Simple exhales. Allow yourself to begin to deepen each breath, becoming more and more aware of your breath. Longer inhales, a little bit longer exhale. Now we wish for you to become aware a little bit more deeply of your inhale. Feel the inhale coming in, beginning to fall down like a waterfall, all the way down your body through each cell, touching each cell, allowing each cell to become alive, waking up. Every inhale, bring your attention, your awareness to this. More and more, each cell excited to receive the inhale, excited to receive the emanating particles, the prana energy you are bringing into your system. Feel it begin to cover your entire body with your inhale. Feel it all the way down to your toes. Now allow this process to continue, but now bring your attention, your awareness to your exhale. As the inhale comes in, as you exhale, you will be exhaling that which is not needed any longer. Inhale, exhale, and let go of that which has served you. Showing gratitude as it leaves. And continue this process as well. Inhaling the benevolence, passing it to the cell, letting the cell receive it. And then the exhale, releasing what is there. It does not serve you any longer. Feeling the gratitude for what it provided. And now feel the silence right after the exhale, before the inhale. Inhale, exhale, and now just be. Inhale, exhale, and now just be. Begin to feel the tingling in your body. Feel it all over. You are now truly alive. You are now the particles. You are now your essence. Continue to breathe this way. But now bring your left hand palm up to your heart space with your right hand over. And begin to feel your heart space fill up with the same tingling, the same energy. It's beginning to open. Begin to feel the beauty of who you are. Actually see the diamond core essence, the spark. Every breath is passing through this place. Your inhale, your exhale, your beingness. Sense the wholeness and the beauty that you are. And now, as you stay in this, feel the divine feminine touch you. Feel her hands on your shoulders. Feel her warmth that she wishes to give to you. Her softness. She is so proud of you. Feel her support. Feel her arms hug you from behind. Wrapping herself around you. Placing her head on your shoulder. She is so happy that you are her child. Just take time to stay and relish this. Before she breaks away, fully engage your entire body, energetic and physical. Feel this remembrance. Let it sink in. Let yourself feel it fully. And before she breaks away, she softly kisses the top of your head. And begins to fade away. Allow yourself to come back to your breath. Remembering to inhale, exhale, and just be. Begin to slowly come back, breathing a little bit deeper, feeling your physical body a little bit more, a little bit more. Possibly moving some body parts just to begin to ground yourself where you're at. This is a very simple meditation. It is just breathing. Becoming centered with your own body and allowing the mother to come more and more into your balance and into your life. We thank you for being here. Namaste.